Hi everyone, we're going to find the exact solution for the equation by completing the square. We have 2d squared minus 10d plus 5 equals 0. Our lead coefficient is not 1. What we want to do is make a perfect square trinomial and then condense it like that. So the way to start this is let's just write it as 2d squared minus 10d. And let's subtract 5 from both sides. So it's going to be negative 5. Now we want to factor out a 2. So basically it's like dividing by 2, but you don't lose the divisor. So you get d squared minus 5d equals negative 5 halves. And then before we start, let's go ahead and, equals negative 5. Then we want to divide both sides by 2. That cancels that out, so I'll just erase it. Now we can complete the square. So what we're going to do, our lead coefficient is 1, and we're going to write it like this. To make a perfect square trinomial, we write d squared minus 5d plus, and what we're going to be adding is this b divided by 2 squared equals negative 5 halves. You also have to add it on the right-hand side to make the equations equivalent. You can't just add something to one side without the other. So we take our negative 5, divide it by 2, and square it. And do it on both sides of the equation. All right. Now, this is going to be d squared minus 5d plus 25 fourths equals negative 5 halves plus 25 fourths. Since we fixed this side, this is a perfect square trinomial. So now we just have to write it condensed version, which is d minus take half of 5, and that's 5 halves squared. So these two are equivalent. This is expanded form, condensed form. The condensed form makes it easier to solve. On the left-hand side, our common denominator is 4. So just multiply this by 4 and this by 4. By 2. So you get negative 10 plus 25. Because negative 10 fourths is negative 5 halves. So this is going to equal 15 fourths. All right, so now let's go ahead and solve this. We have 15 fourths. Let me see if I can remember this. We have d minus 5 halves squared equals 15 fourths. Just going to double check I did that right. Minus 10, yes. All right, so now we're going to square root both sides. Don't forget to do your plus and minus. So you get d minus 5 halves equals plus or minus square root of 15, and the square root of 4 is 2. Now all we have to do is add 5 halves to both sides. So we're going to just put that there. This is our zero property. So we get d equals plus or minus square root of 15 divided by 2 plus 5 halves. And that would basically be your final answer. Sometimes it's good to pull out this 1/2. So you could also write this as d equals plus or minus 1/2, and then just write this as square root of 15 plus 5. And remember, this plus or minus, you're supposed to say or. So it's that's your solution. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.